Okay, that being yet another reaction now that's coming in from yet another prominent voice in Bollywood. Mukesh Bhatt has spoken out on this as well, but we're going to be getting in an exclusive word in just a few seconds' time from the rape survivor, the producer, television writer Vinta Nanda, speaking to Mirror Now in just a few seconds from now, in detailing what she would decide to do next. Just a short while back, she had indicated that she has come out in the open and thank all the support that she has received since last evening, ever since the Facebook post went public, wherein which she has given a detailed account of the suffering that she has suffered of a rape that she says took place about 16 to 20 years ago, and the accused, where she says, is the actor Alok Nath. She says it wasn't just rape, it was being brutalized and traumatized for the coming 16 to 20 years of her life. And today, saying that this is a positive that all women should take home as far as the MeToo movement in India is concerned. How women are now continuing to get support when they have chosen to come out with each of their personal experiences of being assaulted, harassed or traumatized. Vinta Nanda this afternoon has made it very clear that she has chosen to thank the support. She says this is not the first time that she has spoken about this horrifying episode in her life. She said that she's spoken about this earlier, she had written about this earlier as well, but there was no support. She says this is a result of the MeToo, the hashtag MeToo movement, that she has now received overwhelming support, and her next step is going to be in taking legal advice on how to take this ahead as well. Let's in fact get in that word. We have with us Vinta Nanda right here on Mirror Now. First of all, ma'am, appreciate you much for speaking to us about this. Appreciating you much for coming out in the open and also speaking to the press and making it very clear on why you have chosen to speak out today. I would like to start with what you just pointed out, saying that what you wrote on Facebook was a decision that you felt was now or never, and you were overwhelmed with the support that you have received today, which was missing in all these 16 to 20 years in the past.
Yes, actually, very frankly, I was like toying with the idea of coming out for the last 2 or 3 weeks. But, I tested it with a couple of people around me, my friends and family, and they all thought that I should not. And let sleeping dogs lie, because I would just open a can of worms and, reopen wounds which were settled and done with. So I subsequently decided not to do it. But then when I saw the build-up take place, and I'm pretty familiar with news all the time. I keep abreast of what's going on. And when I saw the build-up taking place, I was feeling more and more convinced that I should come out with the truth. Other than this, also another factor was that one of the things that I work with is the gender cause. And my organization, Asian Center for Entertainment Education, has been promoting the idea of gender discourse in popular and mainstream entertainment and media. So I was constantly feeling, while I was at work, I was constantly feeling very guilty that I'm, promoting certain ideas which I don't have the courage or the gumption to, to be able to be like that. So I kind of was very, very disturbed about that fact. That why would I want women to come out, and why would I want women to speak up if I don't have the courage to do it? So it just happened last night that, the build-up was such, and I was watching news, and I was, I said like, okay, like forget about it. Let me just put it out. So on my phone, I keyed in this entire piece, and I unedited, I posted it right there. And even at that time, I was thinking, I'm pretty active on my Facebook page. So I thought that most of my friends and family and relatives and some professional colleagues would look at it, and we would get into an argument and discussion like we all the time do. I didn't expect that it would just kind of take off and kind of become viral and become what it did. And it just went from place to place. It just turned into something that I wouldn't have ever imagined it to become. And before I knew it, I was getting calls and I could see the shares and the likes just like multiplying like I had never seen before on any of my pages. And I started getting calls and I started getting messages, and it was like I just couldn't, it was so overwhelming. I don't know what to make of it even now. So the next step for me was then eventually to, sit back and say, oh my God, what's happened? What have I done? Have I done the right thing or haven't I done the right thing?
But ma'am,
but
you
unlike
have been
earlier in my life when I had come out about this event in my life, yes.
I was saying that you have been so brave. You have really been so phenomenally brave, because as you said, it would mean going through wounds that have taken 16 to 20 years to heal. It would mean revisiting that horrifying episode. It would mean revisiting every wound, every trauma that you have gone through in deciding to put that out. But do you feel, before you decide to take the next legal step here on this case, do you feel that this overwhelming support in the past 24 hours has also been a healing process, perhaps?
Well, the fact that I did it, I have friends who've been asking me to do it also for a long time now. My support systems in the industry, whether it's Mr. Mahesh Bhatt or Soni Razdan, Kalpana Lajmi, who's no more, my friends who were constantly telling me, like, go out there and speak it. But I didn't have the guts. So by coming out itself is, I think, the biggest relief. I'm feeling so liberated that I haven't been able to speak like this, the way I'm talking today to everybody. For years, I haven't been able to speak. I've just held myself back. So today, I'm feeling like a new life has come my way. I thank you very much for calling me brave. But, I do wish that this courage had come to me much earlier. And I do feel that I needn't have suffered so much if I had spoken earlier. But I guess the time was right now. I've come out of it, and I'm really grateful for all the overwhelming support that I'm getting from every quarter, just every quarter. And I'm just feeling so happy that we are in that time now, in that space now, where women will get justice and women will be able to speak up, will be able to share what they have gone through with others, and they will get the support, which was not so even 5 years ago.
Right. We at Mirror Now, ma'am, would wish you all the support and all the strength, as you say that you would now like to take this to a logical conclusion in the form of perhaps a legal case, which you're still thinking about it because it's been so many years. But in doing so, Ms. Nanda, it's also very important that you speak with respect to, if I may ask, with respect to people who are questioning why victims, survivors are speaking out after 4 years, 10 years, or 16 to 20 years in your case, and for you to here emphasize that speaking out, irrespective of the time frame, is so crucial. Is so crucial not just for your personal survival, is so crucial to all the girls and women listening to you as well.
Yes, actually, I would say that the environment is so enabling at this point in time that it has even motivated me to come out. And this is the kind of environment that should sustain itself permanently henceforth. Because I think that is what will ensure safety for women, and safety is what will ensure freedom for them. And I think we are in the best time for women that we have ever been before. And like me, I would request every single woman in the world not to ever keep her, her truth held back, and never stay silent. And as far as what you're talking to me about legal action,
ma'am,
all those things, very honestly, I haven't thought about them as yet, because
that's right. I'm just saying that you're going to be taking legal advice later this evening on how to go about it yet. Perhaps technicalities involving on how does one go ahead and prove a point, because the concerned actor, the your alleged rapist, the actor Alok Nath, as you've been saying, as you've been accusing of all that brutality, has denied it. He has already spoken out on it today, and he's denied it, saying that she was my good friend, and I'm upset that she's come up with these allegations.
So there are two parts, two parts to this answer. One is that what do you expect him to say? He's obviously met with shock, and he's not going to say yes, I did it. And the second part of the answer is this: that yes, we were very, very close friends. His wife and me were in college together, and then I moved to Bombay, and then his wife moved to Bombay, and we were living together for a long time before she got married to him. And we were part of the same theatre group, and we had the same group of friends. And post this incident, what happened was I was the one who was isolated. I was the one who was left out, and I had to build a whole new life all over again. And as far as they were concerned, they were no longer my friends. So I haven't met them for more than 18 years, except for a fleeting hello to his wife at a couple of places here and there. And I've actually met his wife, and I have actually met her along with a very dear close friend from college, and I've actually spoken to her and told her what exactly had transpired and happened, and she was very shocked, and she is a very nice person, and she was very taken aback, but she also was very helpless. So as far as I'm concerned, I didn't expect him to give you an answer like, yes, she's absolutely talking the truth, and that did happen. And so he's giving the obvious answers to you.
Ma'am, what do you think has changed today with the MeToo movement? As you said just a short while back, at this given time in your life, you're fearless, you have nothing to lose. You say that you're ready for the battle, but if you feel that perhaps a young 20-year-old were to come out with similar allegations against her perpetrator, do you think today, after this movement, would she still be shamed and sidelined as was the case perhaps 20 years ago with you?
No, I don't think so. I don't think what happened with me 20 years ago would ever happen with any girl in today's enabling environment. What happened 20 years ago was the environment 20 years ago was when even your best friends and I'm saying it myself, if it wasn't me and if it was another friend of mine, at that time even I would have advised her that, just put it away. Don't talk about it, because it's not going to get you anywhere, and you're going to be the one who gets targeted. And she probably wouldn't have listened to me like I didn't listen to my friends. I went out, I spoke, I became targeted. I was labeled a troublemaker. I was labeled somebody who would, who was not cooperative, in inverted commas, as they say. And subsequently, I was out of a job. I didn't have work to do. And I had serious issues with my confidence. I had serious issues with the, with my ability to be able to push myself into a very, very competitive world. And I suffered a lot. I suffered shame. I suffered bankruptcy. I suffered, going from pillar to post, breaking down in meetings. I went to meetings in which I wasn't able to sustain myself, and when something happened which I wasn't able to comprehend, I would break down and start crying. So those were not very pretty situations that I'm talking about to you right now, but I'm being able to tell you because I'm free and liberated from from all the trauma that I've carried on my shoulders for so many years. And subsequently, once it was all over, I had to start my life from scratch. Had it not been for a few of my friends who supported me and stood by me, I would not have even been able to earn my daily bread and butter. Because there was this suspicious air around me where everyone knew what had happened to me. Nobody was talking about it. The fact that I had spoken about it, I was the villain.
it's very, very unfortunate to hear this, because this is a case where unfortunately you have been a victim. You've been a victim of a horrifying crime. You've not been the perpetrator of the crime. And as far as the perpetrator of the crime goes, his career has flourished. He's managed to go ahead, do one show, one film after another, win awards, win glory, win fame, and you've been the victim who suffered the brutality here in having to recover, taking about a huge chunk of your life to recover from this. If I could take you through some of those moments, if you may allow me to, in the nature of suffering and what it took to reach this stage, to speak out today, on what gave you that strength. Was it the nature of momentum that the Me Too movement was building up here in India in the past fortnight or a month and a half that we've seen? What was it that gave you the courage to speak out in absolute clear terms today?
I think it was the Me Too movement. I would be very sure about that. It was definitely the fact that I was seeing others come out and get the support, which I was suspecting they would not get because I had not got it. And when that started happening, and when I saw that people were rallying around them, when I saw that they were getting the support that they required and they needed, when I realized that they were at the receiving end of empathy and not like accusation, and all of these things came together in my head, and I was also processing everything in my mind all that while, thinking as to what is it that I should do. But it was definitely giving me the confidence every day. In fact, 3 days ago, I was watching television. I normally watch television with my mother. I was sitting and watching television with her, and I told her there was something happening regarding the Me Too movement. And I told her, I said, I really want to come out. And she immediately said, don't you dare. I mean, you're not going to do anything like that. You've lived through what you had to. Now forget about it. Life has gone on. And don't put yourself and any of us through all of that again. So I said, okay. So the next day I put a little post up on Facebook saying that this is what I told my mother about what had happened with me, and I wanted to come out, and this is what my mother said. But immediately, the minute I put up that post, I got lots of support. Many people came up to me and said, wrote to me and sent me messages saying that, come out, we are with you. And the same evening when I was watching television again with my mother, I just sat and keyed this in and put it out. And she was like horrified. She says, what are you doing? I said, I'm doing it. And then by the morning, the whole world had changed. And when I was leaving my house and I was walking out of my house, my mother normally used to, step at the door to say bye. She was saying bye to me. So I just looked at her and I said, so what do you have to say now? Because she had been watching everything going on TV and everything. She just shrugged her shoulders and said, well, the shit has hit the fan. I hope you'll be able to handle it. So I said, are you with me? She said, yes, of course. And I said bye to her and left my house, and the whole day's gone by. So
all right.
I really feel that such a world never existed even 5 years ago. So, yeah.
Absolutely. This is a new world. This is an empowering world. One final question very quickly, Ma'am Nanda, one final question before I let you go. There are several who say that the movement is on Twitter and in several cases has remained on Twitter as well. It's important to speak out. That is the first important step. But it's equally important to take this as far as a probe and this case entering court here as well. Do you think that you would like to go ahead all the way now?
No, definitely I would like to, having seen the impact that my conversation on Twitter, social media and television has had, I was in fact just telling the person my very dear friend Anusha, who's managing the media for us today, I was just telling her that I'd like to go village to village and tell them this story. I mean, that's what I'd like to do. I'd like to take my story down to every single person and tell them that this is what the consequences of silence is. So don't ever do this to yourself.
Ms. Vinta Nanda, appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you so much. We are proud of you. We are proud that you have spoken out. And we are proud for the nature of message that you're trying to send out to young girls young women survivors or even of your generation and your age, many, many thanks for speaking to us on this, on a very difficult time in your life and finding that courage of coming out. Thank you.